And we have been doing a series on 10 books that screwed up the world and 5 others that didn't help by Dr. Benjamin Weicker. That book available for those who support the ministry of the Christian Research Institute. You can check it out on the web at equip.org. Today I want to talk about The State and Revolution. This book written in 1917 by Vladimir Lenin. G.K. Chesterton, I think, put it all in perspective in typical pithy prose. He once noted that communism eliminates the pickpocket by eliminating the pocket. And Benjamin Weicker, in a very crafty way, expands on this quip, suggesting that it was far too generous. Because in reality, the man who owns the pants must be shot for having pockets. The pickpocket has to be made the executioner, and then all those watching have to be forced to take and make pocketless pants, or else they too are going to be shot. And that is communism's brutal insanity. When the brutal Bolsheviks, led by Lenin, when they seized power in 1917, atheism was enshrined as the state religion. And Lenin's The State and Revolution was embraced. It was embraced as the biblical text for pure Marxism. And today, well, Lenin's 1917 communist experiment, which attempted to establish a godless kingdom on earth, it's memorialized, ironically, in song by another Lenin, who in 1971 wrote Imagine. Remember the lyrics, Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try, no hell below us. Above us only sky, imagine no religion, no possession. You know the lyrics. The lyrics are ingrained in the minds of so many who do not understand the origin of the idea in Lenin, the first Lenin, in 1917. Bottom line, communism only works in heaven, where you don't need it, and hell, where they already have it. The grand Leninist experiment led to the deaths of more than 100 million people. Think about it. It's the largest mass-scale massacre of a domestic population in human history. At one time, more than half the human race was subject to this grand Leninist Marxist scheme. It was a scheme that ironically leads to the power and privilege of the few controlling the many. We're concerned with concentrated power and wealth in the hands of a few, and the irony of the ages are all too willing to hand over our data and control to institutions and governments that herald the utopia of Lenin in words palatable to the masses. Again, this is a book that we ought to be aware of, because today many of those ideas are being communicated by popular politicians, particularly politicians that the millennial generation has embraced. Well, that's just a summary of what Dr. Benjamin Weicker had to say. He says it better and with a whole lot more detail in a book that you absolutely need for your library. Check it out on the web, equip.org.